Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 18th of September. India, Japan and the US hold a trilateral meeting in New York. Baloch activists protest against human rights violations by Pakistan in Geneva. And voters exercise their franchise in final round of Nepal's municipal polls. And now for all the details, Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj on Monday held a trilateral meeting with the American and Japanese counterparts Rex Tillerson and Taro Kono. She arrived in New York on Sunday to attend the annual UN General Assembly session. Swaraj, who is leading a high-powered Indian delegation, is expected to hold about 20 bilateral and trilateral meetings with leaders attending the session during her week-long stay. She will also participate in a special panel of selected countries by the UN Secretary-General on climate action. India's permanent representative at the United Nations, Syed Akbaruddin, on Sunday said that issues of climate change, terrorism, people-centric migration and peacekeeping are other key focus areas for India this year. Moving on, the Indian government on Monday submitted an affidavit in the country's apex court in a case challenging deportation of Rohingyas from India. The top court will now hear the case on October 3rd. Meanwhile, Bangladesh's junior foreign minister said that Rohingyas were also a security threat for their country.
The Indian government on Monday filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court on the issue of deportation of Rohingya Muslims from India. The top court has been hearing a case filed against the deportation by 2 Rohingyas living in Delhi who fled their village in Myanmar's western Rakhine province about 6 years ago. The government told the apex court that the Rohingyas posed a security threat and the decision whether or not to allow them to settle in the country was best left to the executive. The court will again hear the petition on October 3.
They have also said that they have received some inputs to suggest that there are attempts to radicalize these people and that there are some terrorist organizations trying to radicalize these people, but they have not submitted anything like that. They have said that they will submit something in a sealed cover to the court on the next date of hearing, which is on the 3rd of October.
Meanwhile, Bangladesh junior foreign minister told reporters in India's eastern Kolkata city that the Rohingyas were a security threat for Bangladesh as well.
For Bangladesh, it is obviously a security threat. We have had incidences in the past, so that's why we are very mindful of that, and we are registering the Rohingya population, as you know, for the first time.
Myanmar's military crackdown in its Rakhine province has forced more than 300,000 Rohingyas to seek shelter in Bangladesh. Myanmar says its forces are carrying out their legitimate duty to restore order after guerrilla attacks on August 25 on security posts and an army camp in which about a dozen people were killed.
News from Pakistan, Kulsum Nawaz, the wife of ousted Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, captured his parliamentary seat in a by-election held on Sunday. The parliamentary seat was vacated by Sharif after his disqualification by Pakistan's Supreme Court in July in a corruption case. The by-election was seen as a test of support for the Sharif dynasty ahead of the 2018 general election. Official results are yet to be announced, but Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Party officials who tallied the numbers say Kulsum scooped about 53.5% of the votes, with the party's majority reduced from about 61% in the 2013 general election. Moving on, human rights activists, Baloch representatives on Sunday came together and protested during the 36th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. They highlighted the gross human rights violations inflicted upon the Baloch people in southwestern Balochistan province at the hands of Pakistan.
World Baloch Organization or WBO organized a protest in front of the United Nations Human Rights Council or UNHRC in Geneva on Sunday to highlight human rights violations meted on Baloch people by Pakistani authorities. The protesters voiced their discontent of the plight of Baloch people and the amplification of human rights violations since the implementation of multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC projects.
Our aim is to raise voice against human rights violations in Balochistan. Our aim is to raise voice against military operation in Balochistan. And there is a mega project called CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, against the will of Baloch people.
The protesters said that since the construction of CPEC, Baloch people has been forcefully cleared and forcibly disappeared and effectively excluded from the project on all levels.
Protests like this and events like we will be having tomorrow, that we can bring these causes to the public's attention and understand that the indigenous Baloch people are suffering to this day for the implementation of the CPEC project.
The protesters alleged that Baloch people who raised their voices were arrested by Pakistani authorities and were denied access to judiciary.
In news from Afghanistan, a TV channel dedicated to women in Afghanistan is breaking grounds with its female staff. Launched in May, the channel produces 24-hour programming despite lack of funds and experience.
The first of its kind, Zan TV, or Women's TV, was launched 3 months ago with a staff of all female presenters and producers. Despite lack of funds and experience, the staff in Zan TV is inspired by the difference they are making as entire station by women is a novelty.
Just I want to report, or I want to collect the reports from the progressive of the women or the positive things that the women in our country, not the negative one.
Though the country has witnessed killing of women working outside their homes in the past, such incidents fail to deter the passion of the staff. The founder and owner of Zan TV, Hamid Samar, said the channel has received feedbacks from neighboring countries. He believes this initiative will make a difference in the industry mainly dominated by men.
Moving on to news from Nepal, Nepalese on Monday voted in the third and final phase of local level polls. An estimated 70% turnout was witnessed in the elections in Madhesh-dominated province number 2.
Voting in the third and final round of local level elections in Nepal was held on Monday. The final phase of the polls covered parts of the restive southern plains that borders India and is dominated by the ethnic Madhesi people. Voting in the area had been delayed since June after the Madhesh-based Rashtriya Janata Party Nepal or RJPN called for a boycott of the poll due to non-fulfillment of their demands, including constitution amendment. The RJPN also contested the polls on Monday. The elections are an important step before a general elections in November that will complete a near decade-long democratic transition after the abolition of Nepal's monarchy.
Google launched its unified payments interface-based payments app called Tez in New Delhi on Monday. The Google Tez app is now available on Google Play Store.
Indian Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Monday launched Google's mobile wallet and payments app Tez, specifically designed for India and capital New Delhi. This comes in tune with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi government's encouragement for digital payments. Speaking at the inauguration, Jaitley said Google has been able to eye the potential of demonetization after the note ban decision in November 2016.
Exercise that Google has undertaken today, I think in addition to the entire effort of the UPI platform itself, various government moves in this direction, I think is going to, over the pace of the next few months, going to make a major advance in that direction.
Tez is a one-of-a-kind payments app that is unified payments interface and UPI enabled and is targeted for Indian customers. It supports multiple Indian languages and is integrated with over 55 banks in India, which works only if you have Indian-based mobile number. UPI is a payment system launched by the National Payments Corporation of India and is regulated by India's central bank, which facilitates the instant fund transfer between two bank accounts on the mobile platform.
Authorities in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province have launched a massive drive to clean up the iconic Dal Lake. The drive aims to clear the lake of weeds and attracts more tourists.
The government in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province has launched a massive drive to clean up the iconic Dal Lake. The drive is an attempt to restore the beauty of the famous lake in Srinagar city, the summer capital of the province. The authorities aim to clear the lake of weeds and attract more tourists. With lily pads covering vast area of the lake, they hamper the movement of shikaras or houseboats and hide Dal's aesthetic beauty.
हमारी ये ख्वाहिश है कि डल के अंदर जितना भी एरिया लिली ने कवर किया है और लिली पैचेस का बड़ी सूरत से बढ़ रहे हैं और हमारे अंदाजे के मुताबिक 5 मरबा किलोमीटर एरिया जो है वो इस वक्त लिली पैचेस से घिरा हुआ है और इससे डल की हाइड्रोलॉजी और इसके इकोसिस्टम जो है वो भी बुरी तरह से मुतासर हुआ है। हमारी ये कोशिश है कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मैन पावर को इसमें इस्तेमाल करें और अभी आज की तारीख़ में 300 से लेकर 350 के दरमियान जो स्किल्ड लेबर है उन्हें हमने लिली को रिमूव करने में लगाया हुआ है।
Dal Lake has been divided into 32 sections for the cleanup operation, and aquatic weed cutters have also been pressed into service to speed up the drive.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India, Japan and the US hold trilateral meeting in New York. Baloch activists protest against human rights violations by Pakistan in Geneva. And voters exercise their franchise in final round of Nepal's municipal polls. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/Asia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @Asia Newsline. Well, that's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.